Okay, starting things off, stand by for just a second while we make certain we have everything going. We are now in gear and up and running. And on another week, it is Monday, the 22nd of May. Things are again decently quiet for tonight. We're just a little bit past our regular start time of about 9:30. If you've never tuned in here before, your opportunity to talk more about what's going on with the weather. We cover the area News 12 around the North Georgia, Northeast Alabama, Southeast Tennessee area. We'll take a look at Titan radar coming up here in just a little bit. But weather overtime, if you've never been here before, again, this is your opportunity to ask questions about what's going on with weather in this area of the country. Weather information in general. We try to throw some pretty good amounts of science in here as well. Again, it's nothing in the way of a typical weathercast for the entire country, but if you have questions and if we don't know the answers to anything here, we'll let you know and say, let's find out together. That's the way science works. So for the next about, say, 10, 15 minutes, if you've got anything in the way of questions, please let me know, and we'll go on from there. We do have, again, some pretty quiet conditions for right now. Taking a look around 2475 Junction, traffic is very light and moving along quite nicely at this time. Looking out over the lights of downtown, a little hazy. You can just almost see the lights on the ridge up toward Lookout Mountain, so a very nice view in those locations there. From Lee Point, a little darker as we try to get the sunset from earlier. So hopefully we got a good one for the time lapse. So we'll bring that to you coming up here in just a little while. But in the meantime, downtown from the News 12 studios, also seeing again some very quiet conditions looking across Broad Street for this morning, and continuing again to see some decently mild conditions, mid-70s. Did manage to make some very warm conditions out there today with those winds out of the southeast for right now. So we do see again the potential for some very warm conditions into the next couple of days. We'll talk more about that in your forecast in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and pull up the almanac and see what's going on there. We did manage to have an almost spot-on normal day today. This is about as typically late May as you can get for this area of the country. 82 the high and the normal, 63 the low, and the normal of 61. So very close to in all those categories. Nowhere close to the record high, thankfully, of 96, and a record low that hasn't been broken since 1883. That's been quite some time since we've seen that out that direction. Starting off our week of photography from around the area or parts unknown, thanks to Todd Haller, hope I'm saying that correctly. Nice view of the North Shore riverfront taken from across the river on a very nice sunset type of day. If you've got weather pictures, we want to see them and show them, so drop them to our social media pages, which a lot of people have already done, or if you want to email us directly, pictures@wdef.com, and go ahead and give us a description of what you were looking at. And if you don't want to be, if you want to be anonymous, that's cool. That's not a problem. So just go ahead and send those in to us, and we'll be glad to get those out to everybody. We did have some scattered showers across portions of the area just east of Chattanooga into northern areas of Georgia just a few hours ago. Most of those have dissipated. Excuse me. Allergies are playing heck tonight. Back down to the south and to the east of us, north central Georgia, that's where we're seeing the potential of some light showers, mainly just north of Atlanta through Gainesville, back over to around Sandy Cross and up to just south of Ellijay. Higher elevations will pick up most of this in north central and northeast Georgia. Not expecting too much more than this for the next hour or two, but we will be seeing more chances of rainfall coming up as we get into tomorrow morning. We'll time that forecast for you out in just a little bit. Most of this, again, staying down to our south from Tupelo down to about Orlando. That's the heaviest amount of rain showers that we have at this time. So little, if anything, for tonight, but could be a need for some windshield wipers at times across much of the area. So please keep that in mind, but nothing major going on. Temperatures, again, across much of the region, thanks to those southeasterly winds, doing a very good job of keeping the numbers up. Mid-70s here, mid to upper 70s back toward the mid-south, and 60s and 70s across much of the region. So staying very much on the mild side for right now. We do have this storm system kind of wandering around the southeastern United States, and as this sticks around through tomorrow morning, we will see more potential of scattered showers maybe even a rumble of thunder, but most of that should be dwindling and moving on off and not really a problem. And then between us and the West Coast, there's really hardly anything out there. These dashed lines are called troughs, TROFS, and they are just basically extended areas of low pressure that have been extended and kind of washed out in the atmosphere. So they may stir up some clouds and some rainfall here and there, like what you see across the south central United States. But beyond that, we don't have a lot going on with these systems, and nothing is really expected to develop in the next several days. There is the potential of getting some showers and thunderstorms toward about Friday, not much more than that. So again, I'm finding things decently quiet as compared to what they could be. We're kind of moving out of the spring storm season, and we're now getting into those summer doldrums in a way. So from roughly about May through give or take about late September, early October, we've got about a half a year of some decent quiet conditions. Now, that's not to say that we can't get some storms moving through here. It's possible, it's just not likely. Possibility of thunderstorms tonight, again, mainly back to our west and to our south, and the main threat of severe weather is way back over here toward about the Red River Valley, but beyond that, there's really not that much. The threat for thunderstorms after tomorrow continues on its way westward, and by the time we hit midweek, the chances of thunderstorms are well removed from us back across the Mississippi, so we're just not seeing much of anything coming our direction, anything major. No severe weather outbreaks coming on through. The smoke from Canada has been mainly shunted off to around the east, but we are going to be picking up the potential for some more smoke coming on through, mainly from wildfires around the southeastern United States, and that is going to be about the worst of the worst for right now. But the heaviest amount has been well back to our north, again, where those wildfires have been causing quite a lot of problems with visibility and air quality, and that again should be remaining mainly to our north, so we're just not seeing again a great deal of major amounts of problems here from that. Now in the next several days and weeks, just at the beginning of wildfire season across much of the North American continent, it is possible that we could see a lot more going on into around the semi-near future. So that is something that really needs to be watched, again, for anybody with lung ailments, emphysema, asthma, things like that. That is where we may see, again, the potential for some problems out there. And that can happen at just about any point in time, again, given the opportunity for what we're seeing in the way of wildfire season starting up. Some of the country, some of the continent has gotten some decent snow and rainfall. A lot of places haven't, and that could be, again, a bit of a problem out there. Jeff Peterson, some of your possible haziness out there was due to the smoke from dust right now across Africa and then heading out into the Atlantic. There's really not that much heading our direction, so you can see that a good portion of what we do have in the way of dust is making its way off across the Sahel into the eastern Atlantic, and then about the time it heads over to around the Caribbean and parts of the Leeward Islands, we're just not seeing that much coming our direction. Now, again, earlier part of the season, if the pattern is right with these storms coming off this area, we could see some more areas of dust coming our way in general, just over toward this side of the Western Hemisphere. But for right now, we're just not picking up that much. This is also going to help to kind of keep storm season kind of quiet for a while. The dust in the atmosphere filters out what's going on with the light from the sun, and it actually can curtail a little bit of hurricane season, not by much, but this could have an effect on the weather in the long term, not to mention the fact that we are still waiting to see a little bit more about what happens over on this side of the world with El Nino. It's expected to interfere with the Atlantic hurricane season at least a little bit. If you'd like to know more about that, head to my social media pages and you can find out a whole bunch more about what's going on with that location. Speaking of which, let's take a look and see the tropics are getting kind of active even right before the official start of hurricane season. We did have a system weak back across areas east of the Caribbean. This was what we were watching earlier on, but it didn't stand much more of a chance than 0% for the next 2 to 7 days. And as of the about 6 o'clock hour, the National Hurricane Center has removed that marker, so we don't even have a disorganized storm system. We just have a broad area of low pressure, and that's about it. So this is really no threat to Florida, the Keys, the East Coast, the Gulf at this time, but we are now within about the last 9 days of regular season, and the Atlantic hurricane season starts up June the 1st. Pacific hurricane season is already going on. So for right now, again, very much on the quiet side. Jeff Peterson, again, yes, El Nino is heading for, right now it's still La Nina, but as it crosses that threshold going upwards, some of the information that I've heard from numerous sources, including the Weather Channel, Colorado State University, NOAA, referring to the potential of this becoming a strong or maybe a super El Nino, but for right now it's still just on that cusp and quite hasn't headed over that just yet, but it's weeks away from happening. And once that does happen with what goes on back to the west of us, that's where we really need to see what happens. And with the warming ocean already going on, with climate change already giving us problems, this could be a very unprecedented hurricane season depending on what El Nino does. So for right now, it's still kind of wait and see, but we're almost out there in that time frame to be able to see what is going on. The good news is at this point, again, the storm back out to the east does not appear to be too much of a problem. Watching the forecast future wave heights out there, that is something that we will continue to monitor over the next couple of days, because as of right now, some parts of the East Coast could be looking at some energy taking place, but we're just not seeing anything in the way of anything organized, even though the ocean waters are quite warm and could handle a lot of storms forming over the Gulf Loop into and around the area of the Gulf itself and out into the Bahamas. So this is something we're really going to have to pay attention. This could be, again, a really record-setting season in numerous ways, depending on what El Nino does all the way out here. I'm trying to face forward on the camera at this point in time, because if I lean away from the camera and face the other direction, then the white balance of this camera that we're using goes all wonky. So trying to point over my shoulder at the right location, not quite like using a green screen, but also not entirely unlike it either for right now. All right, 7-day forecast over the next several days. Again, this is where we are seeing some very mild conditions. It doesn't look like too much of anything going on with heat waves. Temperatures, again, this is right about where we should be for this time of the year, lower 80s, and that's where we're going to be staying, a very stable pattern temperature-wise for the next several days, so that's not too terrible. Tomorrow, chances of showers, maybe a thunderstorm, not great. Clearing out for Wednesday and Thursday, another minor chance of a thunderstorm on Friday, and the holiday weekend looks excellent at this point. We don't have any major problems showing up for the weekend itself or for Memorial Day, so for any dedications, any prayer chapels going on outside, remembrance ceremonies, things like that for Memorial Day, not seeing a problem right now. So again, things looking decently quiet all the way around and should be remaining that way until we see some change coming up. So very good news on that. Here's hoping it stays that way, but for right now, anything can change between now and then, so we'll keep you up to date on what may be heading our direction. Going to be heading out to a career fair tomorrow in Cleveland. If you'd like to have us visit your career day fair, your classroom, your vacation Bible school, your summer science camp, let us know at the Food City Weather in the Classroom program. Go to wdef.com/weather, fill out the forms, and let us know more about who you are, where you are, what grade level of students you want us to talk to, special topics you would like us to touch on, excluding everything from the grade level expectations. If there's something extra you want us to talk about, emergency communications, just dealing with being prepared, not scared about storms. We can talk about all different sorts of things like that, but you need to let us know. So please give us a buzz at our website, wdef.com. And also don't forget that you can find me on numerous social media pages out there. Would love to have you along for the ride. So go ahead and look me up. You'll find me at various locations out there somewhere. over the course of the next several days and weeks. Again, hopefully getting enough time to go on to chess.com or lichess.org to find out a little bit more about what's going on with you and maybe play a game of chess along the way. Would love to have you along for that. For the Sportsman tomorrow, again, a possibility of some thunderstorms for Tuesday, but otherwise, according to the fishing websites, tomorrow is an excellent day for getting out and catching a fish. Likewise, again, with outdoor activities and holding that metal rod while there's lightning around, not safe, not a good idea. Remember, when thunder roars, go indoors. Give yourself 30 minutes from the last lightning strike or the last rumble of thunder. Get a radar app. Keep an eye as to what's going on. Remember that lightning can strike 30 miles away from the parent thunderstorm. So if you can see lightning or hear thunder, you are within range of getting struck, and it's not worth the danger to be standing out on a broad, flat surface, metal spikes on your shoes, and a metal rod in your hand with you being the tallest thing around. Not worth it. Get inside. Continue the golf game later. It's going to be worth it to save your own life. Don't take the risk out there. It's just not a great idea. For tonight, again, very much on the quiet side, so we don't really have a lot of topics going on. We've covered dust and smoke. We've covered, again, the hurricane season starting up. We've talked a little bit about outdoor activities, things like that. So for right now, we've got a very quiet show, but we've managed to go about 16 minutes, so not too bad for this evening. Questions, concerns, ideas, complaints, if you absolutely must, hit us up again, wdef.com/weather. My email address is aonek@wdef.com. If you'd like to suggest something you'd like to see on here, more satellite data, more radar, more weather from around the world, whatever, let us know. We try to throw in a bunch of stuff as long as we have the opportunity to do so. So again, please let us know what's happening and what you would like to see on News 12's exclusive video, Weatherblog, Weather Overtime. That'll wrap it up for me. We've got a show coming up at 11 o'clock, so find out more there. Chip Chapman has your forecast bright and early on Tuesday morning, starting at 5 a.m., and I'll be back for the evening shows as well, so stay tuned for more on that. And again, have a safe evening, hopefully a safe morning coming up, decently quiet, and always, again, more weather information available. wdef.com/weather. Stay tuned for more with News 12 on air and online. Thanks for joining us for tonight's Weather Overtime.